Welcome to Gamepinions episode 20. I'm your host, Calman, and today we're having a brand new episode of Gamepinions. So, this episode isn't going to be a super elaborate episode 20. I wanted to do something special for episode 20. Well, I guess just making a podcast is special. But this week has been really crazy. Like, this is probably the first week I've had since the first week in January where I felt like, you know what, I think I'm just going to skip an upload this week. It was just a bizarre, strange week, and I'm sitting here on Friday, and I'm thinking, you know what, I definitely want to record an episode, so I'm going to do that. It's just, oh man, it's been really weird. I resigned from my job last week, but then I had to cancel my resignation because the job I was going to apparently lied about all the different things that they were promising. So it was just really bizarre. Like, it feels great to resign from your position, but when you go and cancel your resignation, you feel like just an idiot. You're just like, all right, well, I guess I'm still here. It's just like awful. So everyone has been asking me all week, and a lot of people think I'm still quitting, and a lot of people don't. And they're just like, oh, your last day's tomorrow. It's like then you have to explain the whole thing all over again, and you just feel like a giant idiot. One of my coworkers actually went, my favorite coworker, he went to that position as well. He ended up quitting, and now he can't come back. It's just, the whole week has been just absolutely insane. So I'm trying to just like not think about it and just try to move on and not have to talk to anybody about the whole entire situation. But this is the first week, like I said, that I was truly contemplating not recording an episode just because my mind has just been all over the place. And like in a strange, weird way, I kind of find it a little bit funny. But it's just like, man, it's just like really bizarre. So I wanted to go into this episode pretty blind. So I didn't write an outline for this, and I didn't, organize the different topics because we're only going to have one today. I know there's a lot of different topics that I'd like to talk about. That's going to wait till next week, like, Halo with the whole Halo coming to PC with the whole pizza situation. Probably going to talk a little bit more about Anthem, just various other topics. And I still want to talk about Fallout 76. So there's various things that I still want to talk about, but I want to talk about the Division 2. And the reason why I wanted to go into this episode blind is because last night I went into the Division 2 with a friend completely blind, never saw any gameplay from either this Division game or the first Division game. So this is all brand new to me. I've somehow was able to stay off the grid completely and not look at any gameplay from either of the first game or the second game. So it's actually really neat. So this is kind of a unique experience because my friend texted me yesterday and he said, hey, let's play the Division 2 tonight. And I was like, well, I don't really have anything else to do. I want something to look forward to after work because it's just been absolutely ridiculous this week. Like, just completely ridiculous. And I was like, all right, well, I'll go ahead and pick that game up. I always like the idea of going into a game and not knowing anything about it. Because then it's like everything you're experiencing is you experiencing it for the first time. So no beta, no gameplay, no trailers, nothing. I did not look at anything for the Division 2. I didn't even know it was coming out until yesterday. Like, that's how off the grid I was about this game. So I went ahead and pre-downloaded it. I went to work, and I was just waiting. I'm like, I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna get to play this really cool game that I never played before, never looked at before, and I was super pumped up about it. So when I finally got home, we're both texting each other back and forth. We're like, man, this is awesome. We're pumped up. I can't wait. And we waited. It was 11:54, and we were sitting there just waiting for midnight to come. We got it on the PC, by the way, and we were just waiting. And midnight hit, and it wasn't available. It just wasn't available. So we went to the Reddit forums, and apparently the PC version got pushed back to 1 a.m. for some crazy reason. Thanks, Ubisoft. I could have had a whole hour of gameplay. Jerks. No, I'm sure there was some kind of reason for that. Maybe they didn't want to overload everything at once. But no, it was like, what the hell, man? Like, there's this, we're waiting for this thing to come up, and it's not coming up. So we had to wait till 1 a.m., which was a hard wait. We were just like, man, want to hop on. We want to play. Everyone on PlayStation 4 was enjoying it. Everyone on Xbox One was enjoying it. But when 1 o'clock finally came, we hopped in and we did the character customization. And the character customization isn't the best in the world. I actually have a tweet that it's at the_GYIO. He said, "Why do all the females in the Division 2 look like $5 meth addict hookers? It's on par with GTA Online." And I noticed the same thing. Like, everything looks kind of normal at first. The facial hair options are like awful, but I feel like that's kind of a common trend with games. Like, the facial hair options are never like, oh man, that is an awesome beard. They're all kind of like, eh. You know, you can kind of take it or leave it, or maybe just leave it. You know, you don't put it on there at all. These pictures though are pretty bad. And I thought that was funny when I read that tweet, because I was thinking the same thing. I didn't think this exact same thought, because I actually didn't even look at the women options. I was, trying to create myself the best of my ability. But yeah, like if you change like the color of the eyes and stuff, it looks like he's about to kill you. So it's really strange. Like the war paint, the neck tattoos, like, I guess I get what it's trying to accomplish. It's really strange, but there isn't a ton of customizable options like there is, but it doesn't really feel like it. But once you get in game, I guess it really doesn't matter that much. But yeah, me and my friend, we both created different characters. And then when we finally got in world, it looked like I was staring at a mirror. And also, I was kind of upset because I selected the aviator glasses and it gave me more of like the rectangular glasses. And I was kind of like, man, I guess you can probably find more glasses and stuff later on, but I kind of wanted the aviators. They looked kind of cool. So I was kind of upset about that. And then they also there was something else that I didn't get right on there too. No, maybe it was just the aviators, but I was like, come on, man, I don't want to wear those. But it was pretty funny though. So the character customization, you can adjust your eyebrows and stuff like that, your eye width and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the characters don't look the best, but I kind of find it, fitting for the world that you're in. So it's not like a big deal. So then once we got past that screen, you kind of go through like a little tutorial, and I just have to say, first impressions, the game runs incredibly smooth. I had to drop my settings down to medium, and even then, before you get into heavy areas, it's chugging, and that's just because my processor is super out of date. I'm planning on updating that. For whatever reason, when I was building my computer, I bought the wrong processor. I have like the worst i5 you can probably get. And that's why it's kind of bottlenecking everything, and nothing's really functioning that well. So in terms of performance, I know my friend didn't really have any issues at all. He was running silky smooth, and when this thing did run, it ran smooth, and everything felt like it was in 60 frames per second. I think it was running at 61 for most of the times, except when I was going to a new area for the first time. It would drop all the way down to 10. That's really just my processor issue. I think that's an isolated incident, and just something I have to upgrade. So it's kind of smacked me in the face. And honestly, I think a lot of issues I had with Fallout 76 also kind of stem from my weak processor. So I'm definitely going to be upgrading that at some point. I'll probably upgrade the motherboard and also get a different case. So, just stuff to kind of upgrade as I go along. But I can't really use that to knock the game's performance, because when the game ran, it ran incredibly smooth. The shooting mechanics felt incredibly good. That was one thing that we definitely noticed right away. I think he played the beta. I never even saw this game prior to it. But hiding behind like the walls, and I think a lot of people complained in the first game about like how it was, there's health bars and stuff like that. But this is, I guess, considered a looter shooter. That's what people are saying now. I feel like this wasn't even a term until like a few weeks ago, but everyone's using it now. I'm not really sure where they got it from. I don't know where the origin of it is from, but that's apparently a thing now that people use. And it's it's a good, I guess it is kind of a good way to describe it, because there's a lot of loot in the game. And I was reading on Twitter as well, just to see people's like comparison to like the older game. And so basically, this is what they said in terms of like the loot and stuff. And this was from @JezCorden. The Division 2 has loot literally everywhere. Tons of hidden places all through the world. Chests, box, stuff to climb, tons of interiors. World feels alive and brimming with reasons to explore. Such a huge contrast against Anthem. And that was something that I feel like a lot of these, big open type worlds have been kind of criticized for, especially this year with Fallout 76. You had Anthem. There's one other one that I'm missing. But that was kind of their criticism, that there wasn't a lot of stuff in it. It felt like there was just kind of, not a ton of thought put in behind the things that you're actually exploring. So, and I've noticed this from just from playing, that I've noticed there was a lot of loot. Like, we were getting a ton of guns. Like, this game literally throws guns at you and begs you to try them out. Like, that's basically how it is. Like, every time you kill somebody, you'll get like, a lot of ammo and stuff like that. It's not every time, but there's a lot of drops for like ammo and loot. And we picked up this one loot and it came with like 6 guns. And it's awesome. Like, you have so many different options to choose from. You can really make your character however you really want it. There's also different specials and stuff that you can select because there's different hub areas. So we were in the White House, and you can go and you can pick a perk. You can pick a special ability. I picked this thing called the Firefly, and I don't really know how to use it. I was kind of like, I just wanted to play the game, that I was kind of skipping through a lot of the tutorials. I don't recommend doing that. It kind of messes you up because I have no idea how to use the Firefly. I throw it and it explodes, and I'm not really sure if that's what it's supposed to do. I thought it was supposed to kind of drop little like bombs or something around the people that it was going after, but it's kind of like this little handheld thing that you throw, and I think it's supposed to glide, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. But then I also had perks, and the perks, you can get like sights for your guns, so you can get like a scope. The one that I am using, it doesn't go into its scope because it's a third-person shooter game. So it just kind of, I think, adds accuracy for your character, but you can't actually look through the scope. But I think if you get like a true sniper rifle or something, I think that certain scopes you can, because it wasn't really a scope, it was more of like a sight, assisted sight. I don't know the whole terminology, but I think if you get like a sniper scope, I think you can probably look into it and then use it that way. But I think it's a really interesting way that they do it. You can also deconstruct guns, and one of the things that I haven't figured out yet, I'm not sure if it's better to deconstruct the guns or to sell the guns. I think that deconstructing will give you different materials, but I haven't, like I said, I was skipping through tutorials last night. I mean, it was late. It was like 2 a.m. So I was pretty tired, but I was skipping through like the tutorials and all that, so I'm not really 100% sure what they recommend, but selling guns might not be a bad idea either, because there are marketplaces and stuff like that that you can kind of, buy new equipment like gas masks and body armor and all that good stuff. So I'm not really sure how that really ties into the game too much yet. I'm still pretty early on. We got to like the theater, and then we got a little bit past that. And the theater's really cool because you can like climb up this like, cool like building, and then you can like zip line down in a way, which is really cool. So it's or I guess no, it's more like rappel down. These like little deployable ropes. So it's really neat. It is really neat. But going back to the gunplay, the coverage system works flawlessly. It's basically, it reminds me of Uncharted. That's really the only game that I think I've played that has comparable cover system, but it's like Uncharted if Uncharted was just buttered up and just like completely incredibly polished. Like, that's how it feels. Like, the gunplay just feels so satisfying when you hit an enemy. It feels like the bullets really have an impact. Like, it feels like you are actually hitting that person and they are, experiencing that force from that weapon that you're using. The weapon sounds are incredible. Like, we were using the Scar. That thing, you can just feel the power of that gun when you use it, and you can see the effects of it when you're using it. That was like probably my favorite gun that I was using, just in terms of how much power you could really sense that gun had. In terms of like movement and stuff, I don't like the current control setup I have. I have control set up on the keyboard to leap over things. I don't like it. I feel like you have to reach your pinky down too far, so I'm probably going to change that to a mouse button. So the default layout that they give you in the PC, I don't think it's the best, but it's also not the worst. It's basically what you'd expect. I kind of wanted the spacebar to kind of be like the Omni thing. I think if you double tap spacebar, he'll jump over, but it also causes him to roll and all that. There's different maneuvers that I'm sure I'll utilize later on that I didn't really have a chance to really use. But it's been really, really fun though. The story's not super in your face. It kind of is, it's kind of like Borderlands in a way, where it's like there's kind of some story aspects to it, but it's not like heavy like cutscene or anything like that. It's just kind of things happen and you kind of just move along. Your character doesn't say anything, so it's funny when they ask him to do stuff and he just walks away without even saying a word. It's pretty funny. But yeah, the story's not like, overbearing or anything. You can kind of just do your own thing, follow whatever mission that you want to get to. But we were having a good time though. Like we would go into the buildings and there would just be a ton of enemies in there, and we would just, throw grenades. We'd shoot grenades out of hands. It was cool. We could kind of take different areas of the room and clear it out. It's highly satisfying. It's a really fun shooter game. Like that's essentially what it is. The hyenas in the game, some of them just have melee weapons, so they'll come up to you and try to hit you. You can just shoot them down before they get to you. It's really fun. It honestly is really fun. So, going into the game blind, I'm not sure if the stories even connect. I think the first one though was in New York. I think that's what my friend was saying, that it took place in New York. This one obviously takes place in Washington, and exploring the White House is actually pretty cool. It's a base essentially where people are stationed. They have the marketplace, and you have the guy that will give you your perks and all that. And it's neat. It's neat seeing all these different landmarks, but this world actually seems pretty freaking big. It seems like you can kind of just get to everywhere, and it seems like there's a lot of hidden things. I'm really enjoying just the whole, everything as a whole. I did hear that this game is a lot better than the first game. I heard that a lot of people were, kind of down on the first game just for various reasons. It felt like there wasn't a lot to do and there was issues. But I was talking to my friend. He feels like this game corrected everything that he wanted corrected. And then at Charlemagne_VI, The Division 2 is basically everything I wanted from Division 1 at launch and more. It's insane how good this game feels to play, and the content appears to have some serious depth. I couldn't get too deep into the first one, but I'm having a blast in the sequel. #Division 2. So that's I think is awesome when you see a game kind of improve upon something in such a positive way. And I'm curious how the first one was. It's extreme sale right now on PSN. I think you can get it for like $8 or something, which is crazy. But I just feel like because this game improved so much that it probably isn't worth going back and playing the first one. I could be wrong. I hope someone corrects me on that if I am wrong. But it seems like this game really took on the style of game that people wanted. And honestly, this is probably one of the smoothest games that I've ever played, just in terms of how everything just kind of flows and how, you can just, I don't know, it feels like you can transition from the wall to over the wall to a different wall, pull out your gun, hit like perfect headshots and then just keep moving. Like everything just seems like it flows. And I just feel like that's due to superior game design and just like, they really did amazing. And I just feel like, there's something really special about this game. I know I say that a lot. I try to play all the best games I possibly can. But I wasn't really expecting like anything from this game because I went in just, not knowing about it. So there's another tweet here. It says, at Ravik Games, me when I made the mistake of buying Anthem instead of the Division 2. Lie down, try not to cry a lot. And yeah, this is pretty insane because I feel like Anthem had so much more hype around it and people were so much more excited about Anthem. People are just like, oh, well, yeah, I feel like the Anthem, with Anthem coming out, the Division 2 is just kind of going to get, washed away. And I feel like that's not going to happen. I feel like the Division 2, even without playing Anthem, clearly feels like the more superior game. Just in terms of its gameplay mechanics alone and how everything functions, I just feel like it's a superior game. And I feel like a lot of people are feeling that too. There's no ratings for this game out yet, but I just feel like this game definitely has just an enormous amount of polish in it. It's not a perfect game. There's some weird janky animations that kind of occur during some of it. Like on the elevator, my friend's character was stuck in a falling animation when we were going up the elevator. He couldn't see it from his screen. I'm sure I probably looked the same on his, but it just looked like his character was falling during the entire ride up the elevator. But it was, it's not anything to really bash the game for. It's really just something that you laugh at and kind of move on. It's not like Fallout 76 where, you'll shoot like a cargo drone and it will just completely freak out and then go away, after it warped and stretched out and just, zipped away. So it's not anything like game breaking or anything, but I'm very impressed though with just how the game is presented, how it feels. The graphics look amazing, even on medium settings. The lighting, the glare, everything just looks really polished, really nice, high detail. One of the things that I absolutely love inside the building that we went to, I'm trying to think where it was, but it was on our first mission, essentially. We went into this building. There were fire extinguishers everywhere, and I have like this thing where I love to shoot the fire extinguishers. I just absolutely love it. I was hoping you'd be able to do it, and you could. So I shot the fire extinguishers. Every single one I saw, they do like their little psh, and they blow up and do their thing. That is like my favorite thing to do in a video game is shoot the fire extinguishers, and you can do it. The explosions look amazing. I like how you can shoot like bottles and stuff and vases. They just shatter when you shoot them. You can interact with a decent amount of things. I think you can pet dogs. So that's always a huge bonus. So it's a really polished game. This is going to kind of be all over the place because, that's just kind of how it was in the game. Like I'm still trying to figure things out, and I'd like to, maybe play this on the channel at some point, something. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. But I just kind of wanted to just kind of throw all of my ideas out here and just kind of, splat, But I'm really excited to continue. I'm going to play it more tonight. Really looking forward to it. But if you haven't played this game, I think it's definitely worth a try. I think that it's really just fancy. It has like this like, I don't know. It just feels like a really like fancy like high tech. I don't know. You feel like you're kind of a member of like a special squad, right? And you just have all these high tech, fancy devices, and I don't know. It's just something really cool about it. I love the interface. The menus work out really well. They're easy to understand. I love how you can right click on things on the menu and it gives you options to pick from. That is awesome. I don't remember ever playing a game that allowed me to do that. I haven't played a ton of PC games, but the ability to right click on the menu items, that is such an underrated feature, and I love it. It gives you the option to decide what you want to do. That is just awesome. The connectivity works great. We did not experience any lag. The servers were freaking dead solid. They were dead solid, and we were playing right when it opened up. So there was no issues. We were playing. It was smooth, lag-free. The only issues I had, like I said, was from my aging processor. That's it. And once I pop that out, this thing is going to run beautifully. And it's very impressive. It's a very impressive game, and I'll update you next week on if I have any changes, change of heart or anything like that. But I feel like this game definitely is really, really fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about it. Yeah, there is. I wanted to talk about the menu narrator. Turn that off. Just turn it off. It's so weird. It'll just be like, this is menu narration. That's not even how it sounds. It just sounds so bad. Like it sounds like Siri's trying to read you a book. Like it's so ridiculous. Turn that off. Just completely turn it off. But yeah, I'm probably gonna start talking in circles if I continue this any longer. This is really just a baby episode number 20. Next week though, I will have multiple episodes. Do not worry. I definitely want to talk about a whole bunch of different things that have been occurring in the gaming world. I just thought that Division 2 though would be something cool to talk about. This could kind of be off the cuff type conversation about a game that I really don't know a lot about, even after playing it for about 2 hours. So it's going to definitely take a lot more time, but I could definitely see how you would sink a lot of time into this game for sure. Yeah. And someone else that I retweeted here, it's at the Crinky Stink. The Division 2, why does my Division 2 stay preloaded and won't let me boot it up on PC, on Uplay PC? That was an issue I ran into too, even after 1 o'clock. It's like, oh my God, it's after 1 o'clock. So what I had to do was basically exit the Uplay app, open it up again, and then it was available. But man, I was so salty. I really was. Me and my friend were just like so upset. We're like, oh, we want to play it. Come on, open up the servers. Why is PC later than the consoles? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I'm still a little salty about it. But yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to get too. I don't want to stay too salty. It's kind of over with now, and you can just kind of move on from that. But it's definitely a game I feel like I could invest a ton of time into, and I intend to. Invest a lot of time into it. It's kind of refreshing to have, an online dominated game, with actual stuff to do in it, and there's not a ton of glitches or anything. So it's just weird. It's weird to play a game that you can play online that's so polished that it feels like the mechanics are just so sound. So it's nice. It really is nice. I hope that this is a huge success for them. I hope that they have this game updated and all that. And I'm really looking forward to continue playing it. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on my opinions of the game, because I think this game is going to stick with me for a while. So thank you guys so much for listening in. I'll have, like I said, more episodes next week. This week has just been crazy. My head is still kind of just like in a huge, like, think of like a bowl of Jello and then just like smash it with like I don't know, with a truck. I don't know. That's just how it is. It kind of feels that way, and my thoughts are all jumbled. And I just wanted to make this podcast though, just to maintain consistency, give you guys a little bit of an insight as to what is going on in terms of my gaming habit right now. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. So I think it's time for me to exit and to go get ready for work. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, because I know I certainly won't. No, I should be okay. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, though, and thank you guys so much for listening in, and look forward to more content next week. And if you haven't checked out The Division, make sure you go check it out. Oh, and if you can, leave me some reviews on iTunes, please. I need to get some feedback. This show needs feedback to grow.